So when we start to feel lost in the circumstances that are surrounding us, lost in our life, there's a reason why we are ending up there. It's one of the main things is we are disconnected from who we are, who the true source and true identity of who we've come here to be.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
Why is it that we end up here? Like, I find this with my clients, I find this in readings, and I have found it in my own personal life where I felt so lost in who I was, even though I had designed my own life. We create our own life. I stepped into the energy of being married, of having children, of buying this home, like everything I participated in. So when we start to feel lost in the circumstances that are surrounding us, lost in our life, there's a reason why we are ending up there. It's one of the main things is we are disconnected from who we are, who the true source and true identity of who we've come here to be. And that's the first thing I can tell you about knowing our soul's truth is we first have to find our pathway inward to connect with our highest soul self, to connect with God, to come back to source energy. Because without that, without leaning inward, we are going to continue to feel lost. We are going to continue to not know our direction. Like, what is it I'm supposed to do? What's my life purpose? What is the work I'm really supposed to do? How am I supposed to support others? And we then see everything in a negative energy. So for me, this is something that, was so familiar. It was a place that I lived. And over and over and over, I had to reaffirm love, turn back into the understanding of how worthy I am, how loved I am, how supported I am, and how the world around me will support that if I believe it inward. And that my life path, my work, everything that I'm meant to do isn't on the outside, it's on the inside. The problem is we do see energy on the outside. We do participate with other people's emotions and feelings all of the time. And this is what's confusing because now it reaffirms our negative, because when we are energy sensitive, and this is what I see in my Angel Healer program over and over again, is amazing souls with amazing gifts come in here knowing that they're a healer, knowing that they're supposed to be helping others, guiding others, supporting others in some way, shape, or form, but their pain, their grief, their trauma, their sufferings are blocking that from happening. It is blocking all of the good, which is essentially just waiting to come in. But these things, the grief, the trauma, the pain, the sufferings, they create a wall, they create a barrier, so to speak. Like it creates this space between you and all of the yumminess that you are knowing or believing in or see in your dreams, but aren't yet fully believing in you. So while it looks good on the outside and people mirror this to us all the time, you see them out there, they're doing the work like you want to do, they are showing up, and you feel like they're brave. They're so brave because they're out there being vulnerable, they're telling their story, and you feel like I could tell my story, but then you're like, no, I can't tell my story. Like, I can't get on video, I can't have pictures taken, I'm not that person. And we start telling ourselves another story to re-imprint our grief, trauma, pain, sufferings. And so we replay those patterns over and over and over and over again. So I write about this in my book, Believe Angels Don't Lie, which came out during the pandemic. Yes, it did. Which, amazing. We did a lot of fun things around this book virtually. But I write about this. I write this whole chapter about knowing our soul's truth because it's what I see. It's come up in my own personal life and has come up in my Angel Healer training over and over and over again. People come and they're like, I just don't know who I am. I see you're out there being brave and vulnerable, Jeannie. I see you telling your story. I'm not you. And I'm like, right, you're not me. And you're not coming into my program to be me. You're coming into my program because I once was where you are, and God showed me the way out. He showed me that this was my pathway and this is what I was supposed to do. This was my purpose. And so leaning into that and owning it and owning that this was my purpose meant I wasn't going to listen to the negative conversations that were going on in my head, the negative conversations that were provided inside my body, because that was the worry, that was the shakiness, that was me reintegrating, not realizing it over and over and over again, the lack, the insecurity, the I'm trying to think of all the words, the self-hatred, I'll say, all of those things that kept popping up and trying to be in between me and this were just popping up so I could heal them, not so I could reintegrate them. Once I understood this, made a big difference. So that's what I want to tell you today. Excuse me. That's what I want to tell you today. What I want to share with you today is don't reintegrate your pain. It's happening very fast right now because we're living in the age of the healer. It is the time when, and you've heard me say this before, especially if you've been listening and hanging out with me, this is the age of the healer, meaning we're all healers and we've come on board to the higher frequency that God has provided us, this heightened energy where we can enter the veil very easily and we can purify all of our sufferings here in real time. We don't have to wait for death to have this happen. And this is where the immediate comes in. This is kind of mind-blowing. And a lot of people are referring to this as like the fifth dimension. They're referring to it in a lot of different ways, which aren't wrong. It's just this is the way my angels and the way God had presented it in my soul, that this is that time when we are going to purify in real time and not wait till the end of life for suffering, or when we cross over to do that energy work, to do that exchange. So the very important thing is when somebody does come to the end of life, and we'll see this in our loved ones when they end up having pain and suffering, and we're like, why are they having to suffer while they're in this life? Why are they, in so much pain? Which is an uncomfortable experience for somebody to witness. But basically what they're doing is they're purifying before they go to heaven. Their soul came here to do that work, and then their decision to go into heaven is between them and God, how they're going to go into heaven. But all souls purify before they go to heaven. So whether we're going to do it here or we're going to do it immediately when we get on the inside, we're going to be cleansed of our pain and our sufferings and our opinions and all of the yicky, sticky stuff that stops us from being one and united with love. Even those belief systems that we hold and we think, oh, this is my belief, and we hold them near and dear, like, don't let that go, because this is what I believe. And we prejudge people, we prejudge situations because, oh, we've lived through that before, so we just expect it to be that way. Anyways, this is why departed loved ones can come through cleansed and healed, and maybe they caused great pain, but they come through to say how sorry they are. They come through to say, like, I am with God. I didn't believe fully in a church or organized religion, or I didn't even believe in God himself, but they come through and they tell me, Jeannie, yes, it's here. They show their loved ones in that reading, like, I'm standing here with God. I'm standing here. I saw Jesus. I was with Jesus. I know Jesus. It's not separate anymore. I am one with love. And so they want to support, and they can support us in our soul's growth, especially when we don't feel like we know who we are. That is our amazing opportunity that our loved ones want to come through, and our angels to support us to say, yes, you do know who you are. We're just going to uncover. We're going to start pulling away the weeds. Or in the Bible, it talks about the wool in our eyes, taking the wool out of our eyes so we can see how God sees, instead of seeing with that judgment or with those belief systems that have been wired in, that conditioning, right? So this is where the miracle comes in, because the miracle is there is no separation between you and love. There is no separation between you and your desires, especially when they're based in love. The problem is our desires cannot come to us when we are reintegrating the pain over and over and experiencing it over and over and over and over again. It's mind-blowing. But we have to be brave. Like, look, you have to be brave. This is what my feeling is personally, is to be vulnerable is being brave. To break down the walls of not caring what other people say or what they believe, what they think, rather what God is saying to us. So it's not when we go to this space, it's not about people pleasing. My healers out there, it's not about people pleasing and worrying about like, well, this will hurt their feelings or we put too much energy there. Instead of coming to the space of what is God asking me here and now? And when we can't hear that answer, it's just because we have too much noise. It's just because the brain, all of these thoughts and all of this energy is just circling and circling and circling, and we're not dropping inward. Again, this is something like inside the program that I am very passionate about teaching, how to get it in tune with the rhythm of your soul. How to align with that rhythm so that all the foundational stuff that makes your soul who it is, all that yumminess starts to come on board. It turns on like when we turn on our computer and everything gets wired and lit up. And instead of waking up and feeling lost and uncentered and not knowing our life's path or seeing negative instead of seeing positive and feeling negative feeling negative, we turn that into feeling appreciative. We turn that into feeling grateful. We turn that into feeling love and compassion instead of anger, resistance, and we stop our own growth. We hurt our own selves. So whoa, right? Whoa. So the cool thing is we have this amazing ability to shift our focus off of the feeling of loss. We can shift our focus off of not knowing our life path to creating the conversation of, I'm ready, God. I'm ready to see, feel, hear. I'm ready to use my senses to identify with what you are saying that I'm meant to do in this life. And I'm going to start owning, this is the most important part, I'm going to start owning who I am. I'm just going to lean into the things that light me up, even if they make no sense. And this is me with painting, by the way. Made no sense. I don't consider myself an artist at all, but I like to express. And this expression comes very childlike for me. It comes in an innocence of what I couldn't feel as a child because I always felt judged, but I was judging myself. And so here I let go and I just let God and I just pour in, and it's just an expression, and it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It has to make sense to me. And so therefore I'm not afraid to share it with you. I'm not afraid to have these paintings in my view behind me. I'm not afraid of what others might think because I know what goes into them, and I know that this is my expression of love, and it feels fucking good. And isn't that what we're meant to feel? So good, so lit up, so full of joy that we can't help but share that with others, because that is being vulnerable. That is being brave. That is not looking for any type of approval. Do I fit in? Do I have to fall under a title? Titles are messy. They confuse us. Yes, it identifies with the work we're doing, but I am more than what I tell people as a God-based medium. I'm more than that, right? I'm more than a mom and a wife. I am a soul having this experience, this very vast experience, and I am spreading love. I am a mirror of love. For me, that's the most important thing. What's the most important thing for you? Land on that. Plant that seed. Add some water. Add some love. Release that grief and those pains and those sorrows. Turn them over and allow them to start to cultivate more love. Notice where you hold on to conditioning. Notice where you hold on to fear, or it comes clinging back in. Because you can tell that fear, nope, you don't live here any longer. I am a child of God. May God bless you and keep you. I hope you've enjoyed this quick, beautiful little rant on knowing our soul's truth, knowing your soul's truth. And I invite you to come into my Angel Healer program. Come on in. Come check it out. There's so much yumminess, and I'm here for you. May you have a beautiful day. We'll put all the links in the show notes for you so you can find out about that program. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. God bless you guys.